What's up everyone, welcome to another video. In this video, I will be reviewing the Fitness Gear 300 pound Olympic weight set. I have a new set. I will unbox it, weigh and measure each plate in the barbell, load the barbell to check deflection, and disassemble the barbell to see how well it's constructed. Before we get started, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any future videos. I'm posting a new one at least once a week. Now let's get into it. I have a brand new Fitness Gear 300 pound Olympic weight set. I have owned Olympic weight sets in the past, but sold them to use the gym instead. Now, I'm pretty much done with the gym, and I'm rebuilding my home gym. At the time of making this video, Olympic weight sets are scarce, and the prices are inflated. I was lucky enough to grab this set at a great non-inflated price. I was on an email list to be notified when the item came back in stock. I received an email and immediately purchased it. When I went to the store to pick up my item, the staging area at the front of the store for online order pickups was stacked with these weight sets. Here's a picture. It was quite the sight. I checked the next day and they were sold out again. Anyway, if you're shopping for a weight set, I wish you luck. The set comes in 5 boxes. Box 1 has 2 2.5 pound plates, 4 5 pound plates, and 2 10 pound plates. Box 2 has 2 25 pound plates. Box 3 has 2 35 pound plates. Box 4 has 2 45 pound plates. And box 5 is a tube, which has the 7-foot, 45 pound bar. The boxes all say don't lift by straps, with an exclamation point, probably so the weights don't fall on your feet when the straps break. Well, I carried them with the straps. Let's open them up. Each plate is in its own protective plastic bag. The plates look good and feel good. They are smooth with no sharp edges. The coating has some texture and feels smooth and durable. I personally like the handles that are designed in as well. Those will be very convenient for the heavier plates. Now, let's open the bar. The end of the tube just has a plastic plug taped on. Remove the plug and slide it out. Also, in the tube are 2 spring retainers, which made it difficult to slide the bar out. They came zip-tied in the open position, which I found strange. I tested it out on the bar, and it works. However, if you're lifting alone, overall, I recommend not using these, so you can dump the weight if you get stuck. Let's check out the initial quality of the bar. The chrome plating looks nice. It's all present and intact, and there's no rust. The ends have prominent grooves cut into them, and I'm sure that will result in ruining the paint on the plates and the chrome plating of the bar in the future with use. There's a Made in China sticker, so it's made in China. The ends do rotate. There are definitely no bearings in there, but it rotates. I will take it apart later in the video. There's also some slop in the bore and some horizontal slop. Excessive clearance. Well, that concludes the initial visual impressions. Now, let's measure the plates and bar. The 45 pound plates are obviously smaller in diameter than standard Olympic barbell plates. So, I measured all the plates to see how they compare to standard plates. Here are the results. If the difference is a positive value, the Fitness Gear plate is larger than standard. If the difference is a negative value, the Fitness Gear plate is smaller than standard. For standard Olympic plate dimensions, I used York Barbell Cast Iron Olympic plates as a reference, because the plate dimensions were published. The Fitness Gear plates are definitely different. The most noticeable difference is in the 45 pound plate, being 2 inches smaller than the standard. If you are doing deadlifts, you may want some 1 inch tall blocks to place under the plates, so lifting feels right. Or you could dig a 1 inch deep pit to stand in. Just kidding. But you could. On the bar, the length of the bar measures 85.5 inches long, which is 7 feet 1.5 inches. Here's a complete set of measurements for the bar. The linear dimensions were taken with a tape measure, and the diameters were taken with digital calipers. Next, let's weigh the plates in the bar to see if they're accurate. I weighed every plate individually. For the 2.5 and the 5 pound weights, I used a food scale. The 2.5 pound plate would not register on my bathroom scale. For the rest of the plates, I used a bathroom scale. Here are the results. Everything was pretty accurate. If the difference is a positive value, then the Fitness Gear plates are heavier than nominal. If the difference is a negative value, the Fitness Gear plates are lighter than nominal. Everything was pretty close, with the largest difference being 0.6 pounds. Now, let's move on to the quality of the bar. I will load it up and check deflection. Then disassemble the ends to reveal the construction. I place the bar on jack stands to replicate the bar being used. When I bench press, I typically place my ring fingers on the groove in the knurling, so this is where my hands would be, where the jack stands are placed. I'll be checking for bar deflection, so I placed a tile, which provides a flat hard surface under the center and the ends of the bar. That way, I will have something reliable to measure to. I measure the height of the center and the ends of the bar relative to the floor, with the bar unloaded. Now, let's load it up. The bar is rated for a maximum of 300 pounds. We have 255 pounds in plates. I loaded it all on. With the bar loaded, I remeasured the center and the ends of the bar, and there's definitely some deflection. Here's a diagram of the deflection that I observed. The left side dropped 11/16, and the right side dropped 5/16. These values include a 1/16 inch correction, because the center dropped a 1/16, indicating that the whole assembly sunk a 1/16 into the rug. I also placed a level on the bar to show the deflection. It's easy to see. I can tip it all over the place. Moving to one side, I measured this gap to be 1/4 inch. Next, I unloaded the bar and verified with the level that it went back to being straight, which it did. All materials bend under load. The deflection that took place was not permanent. The material was operating in its elastic range and was not permanently deformed. Now, let's disassemble the end and see the construction. There's a socket head cap screw and a washer holding the end to the bar. I used some vice grips to hold the bar, with a rag to protect the finish, and remove the screw. Next, the end slides off. The end of the bar is chrome plated. The outer diameter is not finished, but it doesn't need to be. There's nothing in contact with it. There's the little boss at the end. The removed end consists of a large OD portion with a tube welded to it. The large OD end has a chrome finish inside the bore. The inside diameter of the tube is unfinished with surface rust. There are no bearings or bushings in here. The rotating contact surfaces are chrome plated steel on chrome plated steel. The parts that are in contact are here and here. And on the other end, here and here. I'll be adding grease to these contact surfaces. Here's a picture of the end construction. The two places where the red contacts the black are the load-bearing surfaces, and the green screw holds them together. So that wraps up the unboxing and inspection. My thoughts are that the price was great for what it is. I got 255 pounds of weights for about $1 a pound, and the bar was a bonus. The plate dimensions are different from standard. If you're looking for a technically standard setup, this is not it. However, if you are looking for weight, this will do the job, and the handles are a bonus. The only functional issue that I can think of is the 45-pound plates being undersized, which will require blocks or platforms for deadlifting. I like the plates and have no regrets. The bar is something that I have a bit more criticism for. I will grease the rotating ends, which is not a big deal at all. I will also be cognizant of the weight capacity limit, and keep an eye on the bar bending over time. It is rated for 300 pounds, and I plan to be operating near there. If the designers were doing their job properly, it should have a significant safety factor, and be capable of supporting magnitudes more. I really don't like how severe the ribbing is on the ends. I am quite certain that they will destroy the paint on the bores of the plates, which will be a shame, and the chrome plating on the bar will be vulnerable as well. But don't hold me to that statement. That is my opinion upon unboxing. I suggest looking at written reviews. If I were shopping specifically for a bar, I would not purchase this specific bar, but in my opinion, I got it for free. It was a bonus with the plates, so I'll use it, and it'll probably work great for years. This kit has good reviews. So that wraps it up. Thanks for watching. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, please give it a like and subscribe so you don't miss the next video. I'm posting a new one at least once a week. Drop any comments below, and I'll see you in the next video.